Hey y'all, how you doing? Today, we talk about the Rogers outage,
Family doctor crisis in Nova Scotia,
Trudeau getting heckled in public,
and some listener questions.
and that's about it.
That's a good show, man.
It's going to be packed. We're happy to have you, and it all starts now.
Innovation is in our veins. Soon the whole world will know our names. Sharing our knowledge and freedom reign. We here for the people, you know it's our way. Setting foundations is part of the dream. It doesn't matter if you're new to the game. Listen up now, cause we all gon' say, elevate, 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 higher, elevate, 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 higher. We gon' rise up, we all gon' shine. Work through adversity, stay on the grind. Elevate, elevate, this is our time. Elevate, elevate.
Welcome to Elevate Podcast, everyone. So good to have you all on one more time. It's your boy Josh,
Dalton.
and we're grateful to be back on with you, with Philip behind the buttons.
Again, yeehaw.
Yeah, it is the Stampede weekend,
There
baby.
it is, baby. All the politicians showing up in full force out there. I'll give him credit. JT knows how much they hate him out there, and in fact, he showed his face. I got to give him credit for that.
That was bold.
That was bold. That was pretty gutty.
Bold, man.
It's either bold or it's like he feel like he had to, and for the sake of
He was
trying.
probably he's probably got some joy out of it.
Yeah, you think I got joy out of it?
Oh, he's sick. You know.
He's a sick man. He's a sick freak. Yeah. I was like, shoot, he was getting wrecked out there.
I know. You all as advertised. It's Alberta.
Yeah, it's Alberta.
They've made no bones about the fact they don't like him.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So he knew what he was getting into.
Yeah.
And we'll definitely get into that. But today it's all kinds of stuff we got to jump into, but we're happy to have you. And we are coming fresh off of a right-wing canceling. And
Dog. I'm just on Patreon.
yeah, you hate Canada,
this
bro.
country, man. I will say the video, I guess the TikTok that we're talking about does not explain the full show.
No, definitely not.
Obviously, because the message is not get across, but it's not that deep, y'all.
Yeah,
Relax.
seriously. I thought you were relatively clear that you have no bones about Canada. You know, you can acknowledge where we've gone wrong,
right.
but and there's also some great things we've done. Or
Dog,
at least I tried to lead you in that direction.
Take a
at
look
least.
at the photograph that was released by that new space camera.
Yeah.
And recognize that we are a flake of sand in the sea of space. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
Nothing matters. Just relax.
he hates Canada.
That's right. I hate space too.
Tell Elon while I'm at it.
Oh my god.
Speaking of which, Elon backing out of that deal, eh?
Dude, oh my gosh. This is L. Yeah. Never mind.
Oh gosh.
It's not nice. But
I gotta know.
someone just said Elon should learn how to pull out of women and not business deals.
Oh gosh.
'Cause he has 2 kids by his own executives
Right, that's true. Yeah.
that he didn't even know he had. Mm-hmm. He has a daughter that denounced the last name Musk.
Really?
She changed her last name.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got an issue with kids. But that Twitter deal I think is hilarious because he caused such a fuss about everything when it was happening. Why do you think he backed out?
I think
Do you think it was from the beginning this plan?
this is all part of the plan.
I think so too.
Yeah, because it's the bot issue.
Yeah.
Um,
Which means the user count may be inflated.
yeah.
Okay.
You just come up with inflated, but like there might be more of the platform that's bot driven than actually human users. And so the issue he's running into is they kept telling him, no, it's only 5% are bots, 5% are bots. And he was like, I don't think that's true. I think that's actually very false. And he didn't feel like they were giving him true numbers. So I think he's pulled out of the deal and he's going to force them to sue him. And so when they get to court, they actually have to, by law, tell them how many bots are actually on the platform. And then he'll get Twitter for a better deal.
Right.
Is what I'm thinking he's trying to do.
Or just take it down completely.
Yeah. Or burn
I
it.
think he just wants to take it down completely, man.
Yeah.
I think he's that I wouldn't say the word is evil, but it's very evil genius of him.
Right.
Like it feels very evil genius of him, what he's doing. Because he's a calculated man.
Oh, yeah, he's smart.
So interesting to see. Interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, I'll be curious.
Yeah.
This is all. I just love how everyone's getting all fired up and just they're playing along with it.
Everyone's like, "Oh, I knew he couldn't actually do it." You think Elon Musk can't actually do it?
Yeah.
There's a video of Elon Musk standing on this huge skyscraper, just bent over, looking at SpaceX's whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's that man was literally on top of the world looking at the empire that he built. He does not have, he's not quibbling at the fact about he can't buy Twitter.
No.
He can.
No, it's yeah, definitely not a problem. He's definitely at that Andrew Tate level, you know. So
Did you see Andrew Tate claimed he had over $1 trillion?
yeah,
Over $1 trillion. And Aiden Ross was like, you mean like over like 900 billion?
yeah.
Or whatever. And he was like, and Andrew he was like, yes.
And then the added part is like, so he asked him, it's like, so you wouldn't want to be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos? He's like, I would never want to trade place with those guys. They want to be me.
I love it. You know what? Some say that you have to be so cocky and so full of yourself so that way you think you can do everything, so that way you do achieve it.
Yeah.
But man, this guy comes off arrogant.
Oh, he's
like it's a different level of like you can be confident and think you can do everything, and then he's just like that next level.
He's such a meme, dude. It was actually the Andrew Scholl's show. They were talking about him.
I saw that episode about him, and he was like, he keeps showing up on my FYP.
Yeah.
I don't even click it.
Yeah. Like, not even Joe Rogan pops up this much on my FYP. I don't know anyone who does this.
That's crazy.
So yeah, he's. I mean, he has taken social by storm at this point.
And he even said with Aiden Ross, I don't have an account. You can't ban me.
No,
all the accounts are just like Tate fan accounts.
Yeah.
What's his main account?
And the craziest part about it to me is the fact that this all started because of your Mom's House podcast,
which is like insane.
That is nuts.
That's with
Tom Segura.
Yes.
And Christina P.
Yeah.
And it was the fact they brought him on because they came across one of his YouTube videos, which they were just laughing at and cracking jokes at. And then they brought him on to like make fun of him. And then like Tom actually liked him through the interview, which he wasn't expecting to do.
And now he's like an internet superstar.
Yeah. And from that, he's just like taking off.
I like the way he says Bugatti.
Yeah. Bugatti. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was a nice little extra bit of content and stuff for today. That's the intro right there.
Yeah.
But to start off here, we'll get into some fan, or I hate using the term fan.
I know.
Listener questions.
I know. I'm trying to say things. I'm like, no one's my fan.
Yeah. No, seriously. Please don't be a fan of me.
Yeah.
No, but some listener questions that came up this week from Julianne, and she had some great questions that she kind of wanted answered, and we told her that we would take the time to do so.
And surprisingly, we haven't talked about this just through our own accord, which seems like, how did we miss this? But
yeah, it's an oversight on our part.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll read the question off here.
Yep.
And so the question is, hypothetically, if one were to inherit a large sum of money, is it better to pay off your entire mortgage with that money or invest that money? Would paying off the mortgage save you more in interest versus the amount you would gain from investing?
That is a great question. And I feel like that happens a lot to people where if you go to a financial advisor, I wonder what they're telling people. I suspect they would say pay off the mortgage so you don't have to worry about that. I think that's wrong. What are your thoughts?
My perspective and the advice I gave, I guess to give context, we gave like a short answer right off the bat in our texts, and then we would kind of take this time to kind of give a more blown out answer. Yeah. So what I said in my answer was my advice is it depends on your goals. But if you're someone who's trying to maximize your dollars, then I would never pay off my house. No. If I could keep growing money. And again, it's a numbers game. And what I said was like, obviously you got to make sure you're investing in things that are going to be higher than your interest payments.
Yeah. You need a return greater than your interest.
That's a simple, if your return's 10% and you're paying 4.5% of your mortgage, then that answers your question then. Yeah. Right. If your, mortgage is like 5.5% and you're only getting back 3%, then
you're bleeding.
You're bleeding. And you probably, I don't even think the answer there is to pay off your mortgage. I think it's just find a better investment.
Yeah.
At that point, I think that's where I lie on it. Is I will always 100%
pick an investment.
Yeah, because that'll see something that gets you more money and do your research. Right. There are people though who that's the value in life. Like their big goal in life is like, I don't ever want to owe the bank any money ever again. And I think that's very admirable.
Absolutely.
If that's really in your heart, you want to do, and like that's your goal in life is to just feel free in that regard.
Yeah.
I get it. Do it. Yeah, 100%.
Because there's really no harm in it. Mm-hmm. You can always pull a HELOC out against that paid off home if you need that money again in the future.
Yeah.
So there's really not a whole lot of bad you can do by paying off your mortgage.
No.
But I think no matter what, you're in a good spot to have inherited, a large sum of money. You can build some wealth. Don't just Google best stocks to buy.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Wealthsimple's best dividend paying stocks. They may be accurate, but figure out what Wealthsimple's using to determine that they're the best. Look at the leadership, look at the financials. There's YouTube videos that will explain what to look for in a financial statement and what are key indicators and stuff like that. But, don't throw inheritance into something that could go to zero.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it can happen. You're not immune to it just because it was inheritance. And just because you have emotional attachment to that money, the market doesn't care.
Yeah.
So be careful.
That's a great point. Yeah, I think Kelsey and I were just in a similar scenario. We were trying to figure out where we inherited some money, and
Right.
And we kind of we're still stuck in that pot. And this is me who talks about a show about investing.
I know.
Because there's such an emotional attachment to the money.
Yeah.
I don't want to do.
It's different than just like getting change from a store.
100%.
Yeah.
I even myself am struggling with what's the word I'm looking for.
Like parting with it?
No, there's a certain term that people use. Essentially, when you're kind of frozen in time with like a decision, analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Analysis paralysis is we're definitely struggling with right now. And I think what we ended up coming to is like, okay, this money should go to something that we are going to enjoy, something that we can actually touch.
Yeah.
And so so we made the decision like, okay, this will go towards a purchase of a home that we really love.
Yeah.
Which I think has also then turned our home hunting into even making it harder, because we're still looking for that perfect home now. Like, do we really want to spend this money on this?
Right.
And that's made that difficult
Yeah.
too. But that's kind of where it comes, and I'm not immune to it at all. And I have other money that I have zero emotional attachment to, which is what I use to invest in crypto. And I actually have gotten completely out of the fundamental market altogether.
You're out of cash markets.
Yeah, 100%. I'm only in crypto markets.
Really?
Yeah.
I've done the reverse.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's so interesting. Yeah. I think it's what a time to be alive, where there's so many new ways to create money.
Yeah.
And I always want to bring it back to this point. Money is fake. It is
Fugazi.
It's a fugazi. You just have to be better at creating it than others. If you think that the only way to accumulate wealth is by, I was paid $10 and now I pay a business owner that $10 for another service, you just moved $10 from one person to another. But what you should use that $10 to create wealth rather than just get it and spend it.
Yeah.
It's just creating money. You just have to create value.
Yeah. Just create value, Philip.
But you know what I know what I mean?
I get what you're saying.
It's hard to just create value, but it's true. I mean, if you're a business owner, you have to find a way to convince people to pay for something that really you have to convince people to part with their money. That's like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah, because people, that's at least in our culture, that's what people value most.
So when you look at an investment or real estate that generates on its own without involving a person, what a cool way to just make money.
Right. Yeah.
It just happens on its own.
There you go.
Ta-da. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. So I think that's, something to think about when it comes to, if you got that hypothetical money and what do you do with it? It comes down to, I think my answer is, what do you value? What do you value? Like, what would make you happy?
Yeah.
And then use that as your strategy.
Yeah.
If creating more dollars from that money makes sense to you, then do that.
Yeah.
If you are living in a home that you just really want to be your family home and you never want anyone to take it from you, then pay off the house.
Absolutely.
So.
And if this is a hypothetical that's planning for the future, have a conversation with your family about a trust. Put anything of substantial value, homes, stocks, cash, in a trust. Do not let the government take any of anything due to inheritance tax and probate tax. Don't let it happen. Put everything in a trust. Your loved ones will be as well off as you were the day that you died. And, you know, generally speaking, the people who have passed didn't work hard for the government to take part of their wealth.
Right.
Talk to a lawyer, get a trust. It's not that hard, but well worth it.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Love to see it, man. Second part of that question, though.
Yes.
Is could we explain the very basic concept of credit card interest rates?
So I would assume this means like just like purchasing interest rates and cash advance interest rates.
I think the question is, how are interest rates structured? Like, how do, like, we know they're 20%, but I don't see 20% doesn't get added on my bill every month. So how is it actually structured and how they bill us?
I don't really know.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought you did.
I just pay. Well, I just pay it off.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, you definitely know this. So when I'll explain it, you'll know. But you know, same thing comes along as a credit cards. Say you're paying 20% on your credit card. Well, that 20% is attributed to the amount. Say, you know, whatever you have on your card, but that's spread out over 12 months.
Oh, it's per annum, right?
Yeah,
oh,
you know,
I see what you're saying. Right.
Or a lot of people get confused. Like, am I paying 20% a month?
Right. Yeah, they do say per annum.
Yeah, which is key. So, you know, if you owe, for example, you know, $125 in interest this month, well, that's, you know, money will be spread out over 12 months.
Yes.
You know, so whatever that breaks out to.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of the very basic understanding of how credit card interest rates work.
Yeah.
And they're very expensive, so try to avoid doing that.
Yeah, very expensive. Yeah. And a cash advance interest starts the moment you draw it.
Yeah.
Where a purchase interest only starts after your bill's drawn.
So explain the difference between the two.
So credit cards are still kind of old-fashioned in that you actually have a statement date. And whether or not you actually get a mailed statement, that date does matter because that's when your payment due date's calculated by.
Yeah.
So if you make a purchase at McDonald's for $10 on June 1st, your statement usually will end on the 21st. Mm-hmm. And then your payment will be due by like the 3rd or 4th of that following month. If you don't pay the full $10 back by your due date, interest is accrued on that $10. But if you put your credit card into an ATM to take out $10, interest starts immediately.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
And there's cash advance fees. Never do a cash advance if you don't have to.
Please. That's like for desperation.
Yeah, one time I did at a casino. Like the lowest of the low, dog.
You're having a tough day,
I took a $300 cash advance out of the casino. That's crazy. I don't know.
Have your debit card with you?
No.
Was Rogers out?
No. Dude, triggered. That's actually a topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just, I didn't have my debit card and I wanted to play. Stupid, don't do it, but
Fair play.
yeah, it's expensive.
That is expensive.
Not worth it.
Dang, well, I think that leads us well into the next topic.
Yeah, does it ever, but an outage.
Yeah.
Holy, Canadian-wide outage.
Yeah, that was a wild time. So let's look at this article. If you weren't aware, last week, or at least at this point, you're listening to this a couple weeks ago now, Rogers went completely down and across the country, and leading to people not being able to use debit machines, payroll not working in some areas, 911, cell towers going down. It was bad.
That's what the highest phone rates get you in the world.
Yeah.
Just a nationwide outage of your banking, emergency services, and phone services.
Yeah, so that's not a big deal.
It's standard operation.
They just,
really.
Yeah, it's okay if they run everything, right?
Yeah.
So we love centralization in Canada.
How do we ever?
Yeah, very love it here.
Do we ever, man?
And if I think it goes back to even the guest that we had a couple of weeks ago when we were talking Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. It's another advertisement for decentralization and why we should have it.
Yeah, or at least competition.
Well, it's same. I mean, it's one and the same, right?
Yeah.
Or it's like competition creates decentralization,
right?
At least in that type of regard.
My fear is that in Canada it wouldn't. I think Bell, Rogers House are so in the pocket of the government that any new competitor would be like the main three versus.
Right.
It will never be harmony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the only way I think true competition will work is we have to have more of a population. We just don't have the same type of economy that states do, right? So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But man, it would be nice if even we had like 6 or 7 more, companies up here.
Yeah,
that'd make a huge difference.
A huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least we got Eastlink here in Nova Scotia.
That is true. That is true, and it's rare. I mean, it's like Ontario has freedom, which is not associated, I don't believe, with the main three.
No, that got purchased out by Rogers not too long ago.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Wow. See, so, and I think that should be put on pause too. No more acquisitions.
Yeah.
What's left, let them remain.
Yeah.
There cannot be any more acquisitions. And people that were trying to call 911 on Rogers because it's an emergency service, I guess they were being put over onto Bell or Telus' towers for an emergency call,
Oh, that's good.
and they were charged roaming.
No.
They were charged roaming, and some people couldn't even make the 911 call at all. Sometimes it would just fail. The fact that the government allows the oligopoly, is that what it's called, oligopoly? Yeah. And at the same time does not enforce like network redundancy, meaning, yes, we're going to allow you to have us controlled, but in case something goes wrong, you can use another network to at least make emergency services calls. They can't even do that.
No, because this type of failure wasn't imaginable.
And this was due to like an update.
That's what they said.
They did an update. The World Economic Forum was plugging in USB sticks into the mainframe.
Klaus Schwab. This will get to them. Yeah, no, it was, they claim it's an update. Obviously, I think there's something, I don't know, there could be something going on behind the scenes. Obviously, they'll do whatever they can to cover it up.
Yeah, we'll never know the truth if that was a lie.
No matter what, we won't even get the conspiracies. Like, it could have been like, what if like that was a really high up employee that was really disgruntled and figured out a way to screw things over.
Yes.
Again, like they're not ever going to tell us the real reason of what happened.
No, of course not.
Because that will cause
it will just
distrust.
be a random technical error that they did not foresee.
Yeah, exactly. It was our QA team's fault. Take it up with them.
Yeah, and they're crediting 5 days of cell service.
That's what they're saying. So the article we got up now is Rogers will reimburse customers for up to 5 days of service. So I'm curious what this is actually going to be. Says Rogers spokesperson called the move a first step in a statement, though didn't indicate how much on average each customer could expect to receive back. This is an increase from the initial promise to credit all customers for up to 2 days of service, which was first indicated on Rogers' official Twitter account. We will continue to work around the clock to restore Canadians' confidence in us, the spokesperson said. Rogers has said it also. They will also proactively credit all customers automatically through their accounts, and that compensation should be reflected on next month's bill. Yeah, man.
What I found interesting is they're also including Fido and Chatter, which is their flanker and their prepaid brand.
Yeah.
I didn't expect them to do that.
Yeah.
To be honest, so that I thought that was good of them. The bar's pretty low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you screw up this big, like now, like the microscope's on you.
There's a class action lawsuit starting,
Yep.
that non-Rogers customers may be eligible to participate in.
Really?
If your Interac was affected, you're eligible for the lawsuit for the full amount. Up to $400 a person is what they're going for.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's actually
And that's effectively every Canadian.
Yeah.
Like that could take them out if that gets approved.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Do we know how much? What's the net worth of Rogers? Do we know?
So there's a couple figures I'd like to know.
Yeah.
One, the net worth of Rogers.
Yeah.
Or their assets, because that includes cash as well.
Yeah.
So $38 billion
is what they're worth. So yeah, I don't think it's going to take them out.
And how many Canadians are there? Population.
I think we're 60 million ish, 80 million ish.
Are you able to Google Canada's population?
Oh, I was off on that.
So can you take that number and then times it by 400?
You
can do it.
You're going to count every Canadian in this?
Yeah.
What?
I just want to know what that would be.
Yeah, well,
I wonder if we
conservative number.
I wonder if we even get close to touching Rogers' wealth.
Yeah. Times. So that would be
not even half their wealth.
$15 billion.
Not even half. They could pay every Canadian. That includes infants, everything. And they would still have half their wealth at $15 billion.
So I guess that answers the question. They won't be taken out by it.
Guess not.
No.
They'll be just fine.
Yeah. They might have to sell off the Leafs or the portion of the Leafs. But
And even then,
they'll
probably be fine. That's sick.
Dude, that's
the fact that they could afford to pay every Canadian $400 and go on with $15 billion is insane.
Yeah, man.
And Bell's net worth, I'm sure, is only higher because Bell owns way more than Rogers.
Oh, do they?
Well, I think between like their physical assets, where I think Bell does own more infrastructure and like physical real estate.
Yeah.
And as well, I just think Bell's got a bigger stance in the media, but I don't know.
60 billion, you're right.
It's $60 billion.
Yeah.
Jeez, man. That's insane. And we pay $100 a month sometimes for not even unlimited data.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Hey, man, I took...
And I know this will not lead to reform. Like this catastrophe will not even change it.
No, man. They love the power.
That's right.
No, that's like because of how stupid even like the roaming charges are. Like, $12 a day if you're in the
Oh,
States.
yeah. Virgin Mobile used to call it Rome, Sweet Rome. They could at least pretend it was cute while they were screwing you over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're like, it used to be like for Trudeau, it used to be $7 a day.
Yeah.
Jacked up to 12.
Well, 7 is the American one.
Oh,
$7 a day in America, $12 a day international.
that's what it is. That's right.
Yeah.
So anyway, $7 a day. And so, yeah, like Kelsey went down home for like over a month at this point. And I was like, no, we just hooked her up with Verizon, man.
You just buy SIM card. They literally have them in vending machines in America.
That's what we did. We
You
just
just you buy a phone number, no problem.
Yep, easy peasy. That's what we did.
No ID.
Got that unlimited data, and here we go.
Nuts.
Dude,
That's not right.
Paying $30 a month for it.
That is not right.
And over in Europe, you can get unlimited in all of like Europe.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Easy peasy.
Hannah said when she got to Europe, right in the airport, there was literally just vending machines, and in it had a SIM card and like a piece of paper that showed you what your new phone number would be.
Nice.
And you just put it in your phone, and it's already working.
That's
just instant.
That's amazing. Well, there. Shout out the EU, I guess.
Yeah, man. It's just us.
We suck. Here we are. They like us to think it was because of the landmass. That's the issue.
That's right.
That's the problem.
That is the issue. It's just too big of a country.
Yeah, I forgot. That's my bad on that one.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. You got me on that one. But yeah, I didn't realize how bad that was actually going to be. And
I will say I was relatively unaffected.
yeah,
I'm not with Rogers.
Yeah, I'm not right. It was yeah. 'Cause
I couldn't send e-transfers.
No one's really going to be like, we're going to have phones who are on Rogers out here, but they're not. They don't have any Wi-Fi or anything out here. So.
Yes.
However, there was one girl on TikTok, one woman who was talking about it, and like, it's definitely an expletive-filled rant, but I figured it. I was like, it was very.
Oh no, let's see it.
It was very real, and
I love it.
she was not happy.
I am so sick of this fucking country being so ghetto. Wake up this morning, my internet doesn't work. I have my Wi-Fi with Rogers in my house. I check the fucking news. Rogers outage is down. People can't call fucking 911. People can't fucking call 911. Because some motherfucker somewhere in the top who's supposed to be running this fucking gong show decided to make 911 calls like just not universal, like through internet. When I woke up this morning, I couldn't even turn off my security system because it was hooked up to my Wi-Fi. I had to use my data. Gas pumps are down. Banks are experiencing issues because payments are not processing. You gave this motherfucker at Rogers so much fucking power to shut our whole shit. I'm so
Honestly, iconic. She told it like it is.
Yeah, but it was real. She broke it down.
A good point also that 911 relies on the internet.
Yeah, that's
What?
Keep your landlines, y'all. Like, oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that's crazy.
Yeah, landlines are a real thing. Man.
So, for example, on any phone, I think now you can go into your carrier settings and turn on Wi-Fi calling. And every time I do that, there's a warning that says you, I think, can't make 911 calls over Wi-Fi calling. It will switch to your cell phone service.
Right.
I guess that does not reign true with Rogers. I'm with Bell, so I guess maybe it's different.
I don't know. Yeah.
Because I don't know why 911 calls weren't working.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
And I'm sure there's some technical behind the scenes, like I don't know, but
Yeah, there's a lot of systemic issues to think through on this one. Yeah.
well, these systems are also ancient.
Yeah, they are.
Like
Yeah.
when we were selling phones at Virgin, like everything worked on like the most infant version of Internet Explorer.
Right.
Everything ran on Internet Explorer, one of the most insecure browsers ever. And everything, including the customer profiles, were ran on Internet Explorer. Like everything opened in Internet Explorer.
Dang.
I was like, what is going on?
Talk about legacy systems, eh?
Yeah. Just update them.
Yeah. No.
Too much
Isn't
money.
Internet Explorer finally dead now?
It is actually dead.
Rest in peace.
But on Edge, you can browse like it's Internet Explorer. They built the thing into Edge so you can browse like it's Internet Explorer. Who wants that? For companies that won't update.
Yeah, that's it. Free.
If you want 20-minute load times, there you go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, dude. Yikes.
And 13 toolbars.
Brutal.
Yeah, crazy.
There you go. But 100,000, Nova Scotia. We had
Another celebration.
Milestone.
Money, please.
Yeah, let's go. We had 100,000 people in this province without a family doctor.
Yeah, isn't that just awesome? That they can. That's 100,000 people that have to go to the ER just to get a prescription refilled
Nice.
if they can't get into a walk-in.
Yep.
And speaking of ghetto, it's our walk-ins. That's what's ghetto.
Right.
They are scary sometimes, and they're rude. And I understand people's aversions of going there. Also, people work, and they're open like 11 to 4.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? When am I going to go to the doctor?
Dude, Kelsey had to go to the walk-in last week, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And she showed up. The walk-in opened at like 11.
Yeah.
She got there, and there was a lineup already. She's like, oh, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And she was talking to the woman who was at the front. She's like, I've been here since 8:30. I was like, it opens at 11. You're here since 8:30 to get in, to be seen. That's bonkers. It reminded me of the woman from CTV we looked at last week.
That's not right.
Dude, that's bad.
To see a doctor. I thank God that I'm privileged enough to be able to use Maple, the app, because it's not free. Why is it not free? Why has the government not gone, you know what? We clearly suck. Let's at least reimburse you for telehealth visits.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's actually one way to get around the issue that they've been having.
And you submit a claim through MSI and it just gets paid back out to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be curious. I'm sure, obviously, there's a lot of red tape, I'm sure, around it. But however, I think that goes back into our issue that we've been talking about, was kind of the paid version versus the freemium version of living in, Canada.
Right.
That maybe Maple is that for us now, where those, if you have the money, go to Maple, leave some stress off the system.
Yeah.
And just see a doctor via telehealth.
And I would be totally down for that, except Maple will not look at everything. So, for example, I had an upset stomach that was causing issues with number 2.
Right.
And they were like, no, we don't do that. I just had a question. And I was willing to pay $50 to have the question answered.
Yeah.
And they just wouldn't even do that.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's because now the only way was for me to go to my family doctor.
Right.
Also lucky to have one of those. But it takes 4 weeks to get an appointment.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like this is the conversation Kelsey and I have a lot, because she grew up in the States and grew up, obviously had to pay a lot.
Yes.
But baby, you got the service.
Right.
Like this. Yeah, like it's become so part of our lives now to think about. There's a pain here, but is it worth the month wait to get in and check someone?
I've been that. There are things now that I'm finally dealing with that I put off because it felt like a chore.
Yeah.
Bad idea. But I sympathize.
Yeah.
Especially for people who maybe have ADHD or are neurodivergent in a different way. That's daunting.
Right.
To have to wait a month to do something, that is daunting to a lot of people, especially people who are scared of the doctor.
Yeah.
So if they're in the mood ready to go today, but it's a month, that person may not make it to the doctor. And that's just the reality. Yeah,
no, exactly. And that was that when Kelsey moved here, that was the biggest adjustment for her, because there she's like, I can see a doctor tomorrow if I really wanted to.
Wow.
I can see one this afternoon. Like it was we didn't think about it. And it's and so when she moved here, it was such an adjustment. She's like, I don't get this system at all. Like, this is crazy. And I'm like, as you said, we've talked about before, it's either going to pay with your money or you're going to pay with your time.
That's right.
Either way, you're going to pay.
Yep.
So which one do you want? Because
some people don't have time.
No.
Some people don't have money either.
No. It's and that's just the unfortunate reality of just our lives in general. That's just how
absolutely.
That's just how it is, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And we gotta kind of figure this out. Because this is the grand debate, which is interesting, which we'll get a little spicy now again, is should healthcare be free? Why? The argument, why should I mandate you work for me? for free. It's an interesting idea.
Wait, what? What did you just say to me?
Yeah. Well, that's the argument people make on from the conservative side of like why paid healthcare, should be a thing and why it works.
Right.
Is because why should I go to a doctor and expecting them to give me service, and with the years they spent trying to go to school and the money they've paid.
Right.
Why should they not be properly paid, compensated for it?
Right. And I think that is with the basis that the government is not properly compensating them. Because I know doctors that live a very nice lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not so much that. It was just the argument that like this is more so far leftists will make this argument that they just shouldn't pay at all. Like, they shouldn't have to pay for healthcare at all.
And that the doctors should not be paid.
Yeah, exactly. They should just be able to help us right away. Which is I thought was an interesting.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't agree with that. I think doctors are currently paid okay. I think. In the same breath,
yeah,
I'm also not stupid, and I know that the highest bidder takes the cake. So if I can pay more, I can get seen faster. Is it selfish? Maybe, but when it comes to my health, I'm going to be selfish till the day I die. Yeah. That's the fact of life, dog.
Yeah.
If it's my health on the line, I don't care who I have to run over and who I have to get out of my way to protect me and my family.
Yeah.
So that means if there's semi-private healthcare that I can pay for, I think I accomplish two things. I or my family gets seen, and I free the system for people who need public healthcare.
Yeah. It's like this was actually an election issue, the last election. And I hate it, of course, the Liberals do what they do. Because it was brought up by the Liberals, actually, saying that, because the idea was brought up of if we had a two-tier system, and you're just like, you're trying to make a two-tier citizenship here. People who can pay are all good, and people who can't are terrible, aren't going to be well off. They're going to be in rough condition. And I was like, bro, you're missing the point of like what this is all about. And then like obviously the fear mongering started from the liberal side. It's like, you're going to try and make us like the states, and they can't pay for nothing over there. And it's like, no, actually, we don't want to be like the states.
Two-tier? Yeah, the America's literally one tier.
Yeah, they're just fully paid.
America is very much you're either here or here.
Yeah.
With a two-tier system, the point is the people that can pay have to go pay.
Yeah.
And if you can't, you don't have to.
Exactly. It's
and
like
everyone gets to see a doctor on time.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. And it's like this in a lot of
I
other
am
countries too.
uncomfortable at the QE2 ER.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable. Thank God there's always police there.
Right.
Because it's uncomfortable. Because they're not being seen quick enough.
Right.
Get these people help that they need. They're sitting there losing their mind in the waiting room because it's hours to see a doctor. It's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then I know, well, your uncomfort is not whatever. Whatever you've got to say. If I could pay, I would.
Right. But here we are. So, and obviously, yeah, like as you said, like I love how we share a border with the states, because it's literally we're dealing with the same problem. So it's the same problem, two different sides of the coin, same coin.
Right, where they're fighting for public.
Yeah, like,
we're fighting for maybe private.
Well, we're fighting the same issue of unaffordability. Well, they're fighting the battle of unaffordability, can't get healthcare. We're fighting for there's not enough to go around for healthcare. We both struggle with healthcare. Like it's just not being taken care of in the proper ways.
Right.
We're coming from the freemium side, they're coming from the paid side.
Yeah.
Just create a two-tier system. Like I feel like that would be the solution.
Just look at Europe. Like,
yes.
Look at Norway.
Yeah.
You can go to the ER. It's going to be a wait time. I've been there with like a giant cut in my head. I've waited 4 hours to get stitches.
Yeah.
But I can always go to a private doctor. Like, other than that, and I can get a appointment the next day.
Yes.
Right. It's got the options.
Yeah.
The thing is, for the free meme, you have to have higher taxes for it. But they also have the economy support the higher taxing for it. So it's just, when it comes down to it, it's just economy. You need to put on the implications for everything.
Yeah.
And you need to give up like a certain amount of money if you want the freemium. And that's just, for Canada, that's the next step. They need to be able to support that. Need to support the taxes for it, and take that next step into better economy.
I would still pay the tax for it.
Yeah, I think we've proven we can.
Even if I was the one who had to use the paid, I'd still pay the taxes for hospitals.
Same. I have no problem with that.
Why shouldn't I? It's I think a part of living in the country means you help out other people. I'm not against that,
Communist.
but I want to be helped first, and that's the truth.
Capitalism.
It is. Money talks, man.
Yeah, it does. I'm sure it does, man.
It just is what it is. And no matter what, and a doctor or a nurse who just spent X amount of time and dollars to get to where they are wants to be paid.
Pay the money. Pay the money.
Of course they want to be paid.
Yeah.
Why do you think they leave?
Mm-hmm.
If it was up to us, man.
Yeah. Things would be falling apart if it was up to us.
Would it be fun?
Speaking of which, there's someone who actually knows a lot about how to make things fall apart and burn up. Justin Trudeau. So
what a transition.
There we go. So this man was getting absolutely heckled.
I will say, it's kind of funny.
We'll play it. The little news clip here.
I love Montreal.
Shout out Montreal. Let's go.
Montreal police arrived at Trudeau's dinner party to make sure Trudeau could eat undisturbed because of shouting protesters.
Prime Minister, any answers? Any answers for disrupting the lives of so many Canadians for the last...
Angry protesters shouted multiple questions over the treatment of Freedom Convoy fighters and countrywide surveillance.
I love it. I love it.
So, I don't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's people on the side of Trudeau who's caused this to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
You saw it in the States when Trump was elected. You had a lot of Democratic politicians come out and saying you can't let Republicans rest, interrupt them, bother them everywhere they go.
Yeah.
And it created a precedent for that kind of politics. Where you're starting to see the rising of tension in the States and also here.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan of it.
I get it.
And so as much as I don't like that man,
yeah,
I also don't like that. I just don't like us moving to this level of, hassling our politicians while they're just eating,
I get it. In the same breath with a politician, when else does a civilian really have a chance to say anything to a politician?
Oh, and I understand that.
So that's my thing is,
it's
their one and only opportunity to say anything to him.
Right. And I understand the flip side of it too. I know people are thinking right now, it's like, well, he's causing many people to starve and have issues in the country, so he can't rest until he fixes it, which is also another thing to think about too.
Yeah.
But yeah, this only leads to escalation is my issue. And so we already talked about how someone was plotting to kill him, right? So we're already in a political civil war here in the country.
Yeah.
And this stuff keeps escalating this was when it gets to a hot civil war. So that stuff this stuff starts happening more and more.
Right.
So, yeah.
And we're also seeing in I think it's Sri Lanka where all the protesters going into the prime minister's house.
Yeah, swimming in his pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was bonkers.
Well, he effectively bankrupted the entire country, right?
Yeah.
Him and his prime minister and the president.
It was, someone was
It was the president and the prime minister. Yeah, they should burn it down.
Yeah, I get it why they're angry.
Yeah.
And I love what's happening in the Netherlands where,
That's the farmer stuff, right?
Yeah, the farmer stuff. That was a crazy situation too, where you're telling me for the past couple months, Russia invading Ukraine's causing a huge shortage, and then your leader's going to tell your farmers to stop farming. Apparently, what I heard is Trudeau is about to do the same thing here. Surprise, surprise.
How can you tell them to stop farming?
You start putting barricades in the economy,
right?
Where they can't sell their stuff direct as they were.
Wow.
So, yeah, I was happy to see the farmers stand up in the Netherlands, man.
Me too. I will always have respect for farmers, for fishers, for really anyone that ensures that I get to continue, living.
Yeah.
I got to eat. That's life, right? And also, that's their livelihood. Why would you, as a leader of a country, want to see your people suffer and fail? Because The only thing I can think of is because you have a bias and you don't like those people.
Right. Yep.
You see here with the new green economy,
Made a Green New Deal.
New Green Deal, or whatever, with Justin Trudeau and green energy and everything like that, and the people that he's put in place to run fisheries, and how it is 100% disadvantageous to continue fishing if you're not smart enough to see what he's doing, which is awful. And then people say, dairy industry this or meat industry that. It's bad for the environment, this, that, and the other thing. Google how many bees die to make almond milk. It's terrifying.
Oh, really?
Terrifying.
Interesting.
Because of the amount of crops that get wiped out, everything like that. Just because it's not the meat and dairy industry does not mean it may not be destructive to the earth.
Right.
But it looks cleaner, it looks greener, and it supports the people that align with Justin Trudeau.
I think that's the issue with the green economy in general is there's a lot of things that we're told to be doing as alternatives that are actually more destructive to the environment.
Yes.
That's the thing I like people, when people bring up the Tesla and stuff, I tell people straight up, I was like, this is just because I like this car. This was not me trying to feel better about myself because I think this is actually worse for the environment.
It's hard to drive by those smokestacks and think you're doing anything good.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
They make no bones about it.
No.
They don't even try and hide it.
No. So I'm like, yeah. And then also like all the minerals and stuff that are, taken out of the earth to build the battery and stuff. It's just like, yeah, man.
A finite amount.
Yeah.
I suppose.
And now we're trying to push everyone to these things. And I just don't think it's good. And people brought some good things in our comment section about moving into the green, which is like, we also don't have an electric grid that could support that either.
Yes.
That's
really good point.
That's a huge point. So
really good point.
There's a lot of theories out in the world, but no real solid execution plans, or at least ones that actually going to help people's lives.
There's just a lot of fear.
Yeah.
And
you will die. We're going to die soon.
Right.
So do this. It's like,
right.
It's actually not going to help, but fair enough.
Yes. Or they'll say fishing destroys X amount of species and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And farming does X, Y, and Z. And
yeah, I just love how, we've axed so much, so many companies and factories out of our countries, whether it be Canada or the States. And China's just kind of captured them all up, and they're not really sticking to too many regulations over there.
Go down the South Shore and look at, or to Cape Breton, or wherever there's, a lot of fishing, and look at the amount of fisheries that are either now owned and operated by Chinese businesses, or as soon as Nova Scotia voted conservative in the last election, how fast fisheries and plants were sold to Irving, because Irving always votes liberal, baby.
Oh, really? So wait, explain that.
Fish plants.
Yeah, but you said as soon as conservative was voted in.
Yeah, as soon as conservatives were voted in, that means the federal government was upset about that. And they knew one of the lifelines for Nova Scotia was fishing. And so with that, how do we get fisheries to align with the liberal agenda? Irving buys them.
Interesting.
This stuff is happening.
I didn't know about that. That's crazy. Wow. That's going to be a TikTok. Clip that. Let's go. That's the show. That's a good place to end it.
Exposed.
Exposed. Exposed. Oh, dude, that's the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail.
Oh, is that what we're doing?
Perfect.
There we go.
Sick.
You just caught the thumbnail, y'all.
Yeah, that was crazy. We never do that live. We never think of it until we're almost out the door anyway. So
exactly. 100%. So whatever it is you're doing, whether you be going for a walk
or fishing.
Ooh.
Oh, I was going to take that one. Or heckling Trudeau.
True.
Whatever it is you're doing.
Wherever you are.
We love you.
We're out.
Peace.